What's up, everyone? This is Jayzen Smylski with Smylski Realty and the Calgary Homeboys. You know, I was just sitting down with a good friend of mine last week and we had a little bit of a debate on whether homeownership was the best option or renting was the best option. He's been renting for a little while and thinking about buying a home. So I thought I'd put together this little video for you and go over some of the pros and cons and see who comes out on top, renting or buying. Stick around. All right, I know what you guys are gonna say. You're gonna say, Jay, you're a realtor. Of course you want me to buy a home and think that home ownership is better than renting. Well, that's not the case for today. I truly wanted to sit down and do a video and go over some of the pros and cons and just lay it all on the table. I think there's an old school adage out there, whether it's our parents' generation, that they think that home ownership is the way to go. So, although their intentions would have been great, times have changed a little bit, priorities have changed a little bit, and it's a little bit different from us just going to school, getting a job, buying a home and settling down, getting a 25-year mortgage and call it a day. So there's a lot of other variables out there for people who are young, still traveling. It comes into your budget, your short-term goals, your long-term goals, and renting might be a better option for you at this time. We're gonna go through and do a step-by-step process, do some of the pros and cons, and let you decide what's best for you, because there is no right and wrong answer. We're gonna jump right into it. So for renting, I think one of the most appealing things is that there's a very little upfront cost. You basically just have your damage deposit and you're off to the races. As far as long-term costs or ongoing costs, as renting, quite low as well too. You'll probably just need a renter's insurance, tenants or contents insurance, costing you about $20 a month. Now, if your fridge breaks or if your furnace goes, not your problem. Give your landlord a call, he comes and fixes it, Bob's your uncle, right? So another pro of renting is that there's a lot of flexibility. I think out there, if you're new to town or if you don't know where you're gonna be in the next few years, renting is a great option because you can switch it up from time to time, easy peasy, kind of do what you want, you know? As far as some of the cons with renting, I think that there could be rental increases over time. If your landlord wanted to sell the place, then you're out of a place and you need to find a new place. In that old adage, as they say, you're paying someone else's mortgage or you're paying someone else's rent. Well, that's kind of the case, but not really. Essentially, you're not paying into your own asset or your own investment, you're paying into someone else's. So that could be a little bit of a con. Now, if we flip things up for a little bit, we're gonna go over to the home ownership side. I think one of the best things that homeowners really appreciate is that it's their home. They have the creative control to paint and knock down walls, create what they want to do and be in a space where they can come and go as they please. Another great part about home ownership is that your home over time will appreciate. Then after 25 years, when your mortgage is paid down, you have very little housing costs. So I think those three are kind of the most appealing for home ownership. Now, if we're getting into cons for home ownership, upfront cost, pretty massive. If you're gonna put 5% down or 20% down, you know, that is a really big commitment straight away. Then there's ongoing costs with owning a home. So you have your property taxes, you have your house insurance, and you have mortgage insurance over time. All right, so there's lots of studies out there that can compare and contrast versus home ownership or renting is the best option. So for argument's sake today, we're gonna go person A is renting and person B is a homeowner. They have identical homes right beside each other of $500,000 each for each of their homes. Again, person A is just renting. Their monthly rent is gonna be $2,000 a month. Well, person B is the homeowner and their mortgage payments are gonna be $2,000 a month. So person B also has ongoing costs, as I'd mentioned, property taxes, house insurance. So let's call that $500 on top of $2,000 as their mortgage payment. So essentially they're $2,500 in the game. You go back to person A as a renter and they have the same $2,000 a month rent, but very little or no extra costs on top of that. Now between the both of them, they still have to pay their utilities and they still have to pay those sort of minimum bills. But over time, person A has an extra $500 a month, plus the original lump sum that they had started before. So if they took that lump sum that they had started before, put it in an investment, plus that extra $500 a month, and continued to invest that way, that's kind of their investment. Person B, on the other hand, is that homeowner. They had to put all that money into their down payment straight away, and then they still have that $500 or more a month as ongoing costs. The debate between renting and buying could go on for days. Essentially, I'm here to help you understand whether if renting is better for you or if buying is better for you, because they both come with risks. If you're renting and using the same amount of money that you would be as purchasing a home and ongoing cost, if you wanted to roll that over into some sort of investment portfolio, it does stand to reason that your investment portfolio is going to yield you some sort of gain. And as a homeowner, your home over time should yield you some gain as well too. So we're not debating the fact that they're both investment ideas and what's the smarter investment. It really comes down to your circumstance, because you can go and rent for the rest of your life and still feel that you don't have those monthly obligations, those monthly costs, and feel better about it at the very end of the day if you're putting money into some sort of investment, because that's where we're trying to compare apples to apples. If you're renting and doing some sort of investing versus owning and having your home as an investment, they both kind of equate to very similar results down the road. If you're renting and not contributing your money in some sort of a savings plan, then obviously home ownership will yield you better return in that circumstance. There's a part of this debate that comes down to truly just perspective. So perspective of a house just for the sake of housing, and you facilitate that as just renting. So if you're just renting, you're just truly utilizing that need for housing. But as you buy a property and you invest in your home, you're not only utilizing and getting the need out of housing, but you're also at the same time having the need for an investment and facilitating that. So I think that's a strong point for owning a home, is that not only you're utilizing your need for a place to live, but also you can facilitate an investment option. And with real estate as well too, there's so many other little options that can go along with it. If you buy a property with the ability to have a basement suite or an income suite, then you're facilitating like 3 of your needs, right? So your basic needs as housing is met, investment long-term for housing is met, but also you can really net some short-term gains from having some sort of rental property down there. So there's bonuses of home ownership. There's risks associated with home ownership. There's risks associated with any sort of investment out there. But again, I'm leaning towards home ownership as one of those things that can pay it forward in many other ways. So your rate of return, your sweat equity, all those little factors that go into investing in a home and being a savvy homeowner can pay it forward a little bit more, in my opinion, than renting. But it's all situational. So is there a right and wrong answer? I don't think so. I think it's completely up to you and your situation of where you're at and what you want to accomplish with your goals, your short-term, long-term, financial, your stress, your involvement in a property. Homeownership does have its costs and its risks. I think it's the same thing if you were going to invest as well too. There's going to be some risks involved with that. Homeownership to me brings me a lot of pride. I enjoy customizing and changing little things in my home, saying hello to my neighbors, knowing that I've been there for a while. It really gets me that sort of sense of pride. I hope this has been a beneficial video for you, because there's a lot of debate and a lot of dialogue out there if renting is the best option or if home ownership is the best option. And honestly, it's up to you. So if you're still renting, you're not too sure where you're going to be at in the next few years, or if you don't quite have the funds and the means to, then rent for a while. But in the back of your mind, I think a solid idea is saving, is making a plan at some point. If you're on the other side and you want to own a home and you're thinking about making that transition into buying a home, then awesome as well too. So either way, the information is out there for you to decide if and when you're ready to start looking at homes, or just kind of continue with that dialogue and see if that's the right time and the right place for you. Drop me a line, give me a call. I'd love to be able to chat and see if we can work together. So until next time, have a killer day.